What is it called? Friday Firepit? Friday Firepit Fridays.
So we just put a bit more thought into dominating
Miserable on
comments box this morning.
Miserable on Git.
You gotta call it like it is.
Friday, like, come on. The Friday Firepit.
Is there a summer version of the name of this? Because like it feels the analogy about pulling up a seat around the fire and cozying our hands around the flames.
Have you never had a campfire in your life?
Yeah, but like around in the summertime it feels like it's we're stretching the analogy.
I was going to say, like
Kathleen,
in Ireland, you're more likely to sit around a fire outside, like during the summer.
So we've moved
like,
outside.
Yeah, well, like
Okay.
it's a nice day. You sit around like a little fire pit outside.
Okay, I could.
End of the day, little
Speaking
blanket.
about smartphones and that, Kathleen, and there's still something like never-endingly magic about a fire and starting a fire and kindling a fire. And a fire, like if you go to this would be my favourite experience of it, would be going to the Blasket Islands, and if you stayed the nights in the Blasket Islands, at the end of the night everyone from all the houses, they'd gather around the fire pit outside, and across, like from the fire, you can see the mainland, the lights of the houses, and you just have these flames, and it's just like absolutely, it's the most blissful experience ever.
I see they've a couple of custodians have moved in to the Blaskets. They do this every 6 months. They give somebody, new people, the chance.
100,000 people apply.
You'd be a great man for that.
This is
I wouldn't get it. 100,000 people apply. Like,
do they?
If you haven't been to the Blaskets, stay 2 nights. Just do it. You'll never regret it.
What's the accommodation? Are you camping like?
You're in a little cottage.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have you can't have like hot showers. There's no hot water, no electricity.
Jump in the sea.
But you can more or less charge your phone. Yeah, and you swim with the seals, and then it's basically like a nature reserve. Like you'll see hares that you'll never see on the mainland, rabbits, loads of birds, sheep. Mainly the seals are the most amazing thing, but just like the whole sound of the ocean and just the views.
What do you mean you can kind of charge your phone?
There's the caretakers last year were quite. They do have a small little bit of energy from a little.
The caretakers were ourselves
turbine.
the last time they were in.
Huh?
You were saying the caretakers were a bit like.
No, but they don't want everyone to be charging. Like, the point is go get away from your phone. But it is excellent 4G. So I was doing like Zoom calls from the Blasket Islands.
Okay.
Whether I liked it or not, I was working. But you kind of. You want like the basic kind of necessities, but at the same time you want to be removed from them.
Yeah,
if you can charge your phone, obviously, well, because you want to take photos ultimately.
Just in case anyone is just tuning in, welcome to Off the Ball, the sports show.
Sports show.
At the start, he was like giving it. What were we on about at the start? Something, nothing to do. The monk and all, and Colin was
you
like,
were
this is a
talking
sports
about
show. Like.
doing
great vibes of a
murder
Friday.
series of podcasts.
Yeah, murder.
Yeah, meeting the murderer.
And gangs, apparently.
Are you having some of that, Cameron? Meeting the murderer?
Meeting the murderer?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be keen on meeting any murderers if that's...
No, Johnny's going to do that on your
I'm going to do it for you.
Oh, on my... is there a glass screen? Are you doing this via Zoom, or are you going to go meet them and...
TBC.
Leave
I'm going to meet them.
Things
Going to
that...
the jail,
like, yeah. Okay, I'll listen to it. I'll give it a go.
He hasn't made it yet, but you know.
I haven't made it yet.
Right.
I only thought of it an hour ago.
Cameron,
Will we get into this?
lead on,
Where we go?
Yeah.
So, I suppose the thing I wanted to talk about this week was that Arsenal video that came out. I don't know if you all saw that.
Yeah.
There's a girl outside the dressing room.
Can I just say, Arsenal never gets talked about on this show, and the one time it's brought up consistently by every single person is like, oh, we should talk about this Arsenal video where all the Arsenal players look really, really bad.
Horrible people, yeah.
And like, top of the league still, would never talk about the football. We barely get a question into most guests about them. It's always about United. It's always about, Harry Maguire, David De Gea. And then this is the one time we talk about Arsenal. I have my issues with this.
What was the Arsenal thing, Cameron?
You'd rather talk about Arsenal in negative terms a la De Gea and Maguire, is it?
No, I think she's saying the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
this
they
was
look
going to
bad,
be a strong defensive Arsenal, but I mean, you're getting your licks in early, which is good. But the Arsenal video came out, and it's the girl who's the mascot for the day has her jersey, and all the players sign the jersey, but just sign and walk on
as they walk into the dressing room.
Yeah, like they're signing a book of condolences and just moving on. Like no talk, no chatter at all. And the players online, Arsenal put it on their social media, and it was roundly criticised. Why are you putting this up? The players don't look particularly personable at all. Subsequently, the father of the mascot went online and said actually she had a brilliant day. She met Martin Odegaard, who's her favourite player. It was really, really excellent. Kudos to Arsenal. But it really fascinated me that they got such stick for, not engaging on, their match day prep. Like when they're trying to get into the zone, you'd feel, and walking to the dressing room, like I would feel that the game day starts as soon as you get off the bus, at the very least. So they're probably in the zone and don't have, like, probably aren't in the mood to engage with fans as much. And I think we should probably give them that space. I remember I went to Ireland, England when I was a teen, and my best friend's aunt worked for the IRFU. We got to meet the players afterwards, and it was a game that Ireland won, so it was brilliant. And we were standing in the corridor between where they were coming out to the president's suite in the Aviva, and we got our photos, and Joe Schmidt and a few of the others were incredibly nice and gave us a good bit of time, but some of the players just took photos and left. And I remember at the time feeling, well, why weren't they, stopping for a chat or whatever? And then you're kind of like, their families are in that room. They're probably just trying to get the last thing they want to see is adolescent Cameron waiting in the halls for a selfie and a chat. They like, part of their day is they want to see their family straight after a really big game.
The whole thing just got overblown.
Yeah.
It's like a
I don't
mounted on a
understand it.
molehill. I think the point that you made was that the dad and the girl, or the dad on behalf of the girl, issued some sort of a statement to say it was grand.
Yeah.
Calm down.
My thing with it as well is that, like, I do agree with some of the commentary. Like, the player, someone could have smiled at her. I don't think it would have taken all that much out of your day. I actually kind of disagree with what you're saying, Cameron, in that, like, yes, you're in match day mode, but it doesn't take all that much to, throw your eyes up and actually look someone in the face or in the eye. But I also think, why was she there in the first place? Why place a 10-year-old girl outside the dressing room when all the players are going in, probably in the mode of, like, thinking about the game, thinking about what's happening? Get the jersey signed earlier in the day whenever she's actually with the players and enjoying that
And also,
chat with them and stuff. But I also think that, like, as Adrian was saying, it was just massively overblown. And, like, the whole reason we were talking about this earlier was, like, what is the expectation on players? What is the expectation from fans? What are we owed as fans? And I think you kind of have to accept when you're a player that there is something that you owe your fans. Like, I mean, these guys are paid tens of thousands of euro every week to kick a ball around for 180 minutes a week. I don't think it's all that much to ask for them to stand and take a photo or sign something.
I disagree. Like, first of all, right, if a tree falls in the forest, does everything have to be on social media, or it didn't happen? Like, why does this need to be filmed? But secondly, like, it doesn't really matter, Kathleen. Like, it doesn't matter how much money Harry Maguire's paid. That if he were paid half what he's on, it wouldn't make it any easier for him or harder not to make mistakes. And they are human. And I look at Rachel Blackmore at race meetings, and I looked at Frankie Dettori, and Frankie Dettori is totally different on camera than off it. He poses for the photographs, but part of him obviously hates it because it's hard and it's tiring.
It's incessant is the thing.
It's incessant and it's hard. And it's funny you mentioned that, Cameron, about the Ireland game. This is a little bit of off the point, but I only got this text the other day about this lad he'd be probably 50 odd now. He goes, my second Ireland game was against Cyprus that November. Brother-in-law took me, have the programme full of photographs, all bar Brady and Stapleton, who blanked us, and he still remembers that. And you do remember as a kid. And now, as a kid, I'd be like, that's terrible.
I'd say,
now I'd be like, I'm having a bad day here. I just can't deal with
reflection
it.
on your pal, because, like, Jesus, like Brady, I thought he was going to say, like, Robbie Brady and, like,
Brady and Stapleton.
Time to build a bridge.
And you can imagine Chippy Brady, like, blanking you, like one of the greatest, and you think, but he might have been having a bad day.
I think the context of this very specific thing is that they had seemed as if they'd probably come off the bus, they were walking into the ground,
in the zone,
they were about to go into the dressing room. Absolutely in the zone.
Yeah.
Like, them stopping to do anything.
Why did it need to be on social media? Why did it need to be filmed?
Look at whatever. Obviously, Arsenal were trying to demonstrate that they were doing something good and whatever.
On social media. It never happened. We wouldn't be talking about it. Why did they need to film it?
But also, like the dad said, she had a great day. She was like, did she walk out in the tunnel like holding Odegaard? It was clear that when Odegaard came over. By the way, look, I equally think they could have cracked a smile or, like, given her a little nod.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have knocked anything off their day. But at the same time, like, let's not have a big craze of like these, like, we don't want a big reaction to this where every club has to be seen to be going OTT.
I think even post game, I would be like, okay, you've won, or the results there. If they'd won a match and then, I mean, the West Ham game didn't really go to plan for them, but
that was the other ridiculous thing as well. People started, like, blaming the little girl for the fact that Arsenal had drawn the game. They were like, she took them out of, like, the game zone, and I was like, Jesus Christ, lads.
The pen
Spend
they
less
used
time
was
on
laced
social
with
media
something.
generally. Just like
It's not a bad
man.
point, Johnny. Yeah.
Quite
Good
like
point generally, yeah. But I'm waiting. I mean, this could come later in the day or could be out already. I haven't checked, but I'm waiting for the obligatory De Gea apology for last night. Like De Gea's Instagram is like a mosaic of just apologies for terrible performances, and I don't even think that should be like the norm for players. You know, like this apology and players deserve a sort of maybe a refund for the money that they've paid. That's not the deal. The deal is you go along to the game and you watch your team. It's not a pay-to-win thing, and I don't think teams should have to apologise because they probably feel pretty terrible about performing badly anyway.
Do you know who does those posts really well? Is Rusha Littlejohn. So she'll do the classic, bad performance last night, we go again, and then she'll leave like a couple of lines, and then she'll have like some really hilarious comment at the very bottom, kind of like making fun of the whole, so sorry, it was a terrible game. We're trying our best. We love the fans. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. And then she'll just have something completely sarcastic at the end of it. And every time I see those posts come up, I'm like clicking the see more on Instagram to be like, what's she gonna say today?
That's how you do it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of expectation. Like, fans are entitled to an acknowledgement for the players that things were wrong or we should do better. But apologising
The thing is,
and
though,
coming
like
out.
the players aren't actually writing those apologies. It's their social media teams.
Totally,
like the players
yeah.
don't even know it's probably going out half the time.
But De Gea apologising in like post-match pressers or post-match interviews as well, says, sorry to you guys. I don't even think that's necessary, to be honest.
I didn't see the Christian Eriksen interview after last night, but apparently Paul Scholes was losing his mind about what appears to have been this particular topic.
But just a lack of...
It wouldn't have been for Paul Scholes coming on to social media and saying, sorry about that, we go again.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have had that in the day.
The League of Ireland players can be quite funny. Like we'd Keith Ward on during the week, and when they beat Bows back in the day, he nicked the corner flag kind of at the end of the game, and at that time Stephen Bradley was slagged for saying every time they play Bows, it's Bows Cup final. It's their Cup final when they play Shamrock Rovers. So Bows uses this as motivation. But Keith Ward, I remember he goes, sorry for nicking the corner flag. We'll take it out of the Cup final bonus. And then you'd have like Keith Buckley, who was getting the Lewis home after winning the game against Rovers, just like taking a selfie with all the Bows fans and the Lewis. And that's more like it than going on Instagram to your 1 million followers.
The other topic we had today off the back of is the League of Ireland cool from yesterday.
I've just pointed out clearly that it is.
Yeah, incredibly. But who would be the coolest sports person, in your opinion? Who do you find the coolest?
In general?
Yeah.
Do you know what it actually is? Because I'm edging more towards his age almost than players. Carlo Ancelotti.
Carlo Ancelotti.
It's a good shout.
That's a very good shout.
He literally, like, the ball in the first leg went over the line and he did like 3 kind of little keepy uppies and then like nudged it back into play in this unbelievable 3-piece suit, looking, what is he, 60 odd? What is Carlo? He's well in his 60s anyway. He's just the coolest, and he's Italian. What more do you want? And he somehow manages all these millionaires with no issue.
2-word answer for me, Dustin Brown, guy who beat Nadal at Wimbledon in 2013, just oozes cool.
That was more than 2 words, but
Well, I wasn't good at maths.
there was also silence after you said it, in fairness.
Who you having, Adrian?
I don't know, like James Lowe, Denise
James
O'Sullivan.
Lowe is, yeah.
Sullivan's a great shout.
Like,
That goal during the week.
class.
So
Yeah.
Cool. We're over time.
Wouldn't be like us.
As always.
James Lowe is just cool though, isn't he? He's literally, exactly.
It's
if you
the
met
hair-
him, he'd be dead on.
hair tying.
And Kiwis are just class, and he'd be a great lad to do anything with, really.
Kiwis are class is a perfect note to leave it. Kathleen, thanks a million for coming in. Cameron, thanks a lot.
Thank you.